Today I'll show you how to live for free for 2 years, and you can do the same. Depending on where you look, the average American spends between 33 to 37% of their monthly income on housing. That number will only go up as rents have increased 9 to 11% in the first half of 2021, and with home prices increasing, it's becoming harder and harder to save for down payments or to make those monthly mortgage payments. With that being the case, that whole live for free thing doesn't sound so bad. For people new to the channel, which probably everyone, my name is Jake, and I'm a 30-something living in somewhere USA with my wife and our dogs Harper and Archie. I'm a full-time worker, a part-time personal finance dabbler, a travel enthusiast, and this is us in Mykonos, Greece. That is enough of all that. Let's dive into the video. You might be wondering, why is rent going up? People think that rent is going up for a couple reasons. There's more certainty in the job market, so people are moving out on their own after the pandemic or restrictions end. From February to May of 2020, 20% of people living with roommates moved in with a family member, and now that number is reversing.
Reverse, reverse! Cha-cha now, y'all.
Another reason is people that are getting to the home buying age now have less resources and aren't able to compete in the home buying market and need to continue to rent, which drives up the competition. This has caused vacancies to shrink by 36%, while rent has increased by 11%. If you're thinking it's only temporary, I have some bad news for you. Cost of housing continues to rise as the ratio of rent to income is still going up. And this shows that rent is rising at a faster rate than income, which isn't a good thing. Nationwide, rents have increased by twice the rate of housing income since 1960, making saving for a down payment extremely difficult. Basically, the rents have increased at a faster rate than people's income, and that's why that old budgeting tool of not spending more than 30% of your income on housing doesn't really work anymore, and has crept up to 33 to 37%, but I'm gonna show you how you can beat the system. So what is house hacking? The concept has been around for a long time, but wasn't given the fancy name until a man named Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets came along. The concept is you take your house and wait for it. Find a way to hack it to cover your living expenses. This is the property that I house hacked and lived in for 2 years. This is the video of how the unit that I moved into looked when I bought it, and this is how it looked when it ended. But when I bought the property, the unit that I was gonna be living in was renting out for $588, and a mirror unit was renting out for $663. When I moved in, the rent from all the other units were able to cover the mortgage and the water as well. This means as soon as I bought the property, I was able to move in and live for free, which was a huge upgrade because I was living with my mom. I had just moved back and I moved in with her because I knew that I was gonna buy a place and didn't want to rent in the meantime, but that was a weird time. Before I moved back, I was living in the basement of a duplex with roommates off of Craigslist. This was also huge because a 1-bedroom within the area was running around $900 to $8,000 per month, but instead I had to pay $0. Without paying rent, I was able to save that money and put it towards savings and paying off some of my student loan debt. This really changed the trajectory of my personal finance situation because instead of spending that $12,000 a year, I was able to save that. I will be coming out with a video next, which goes over how much I put down. It's less than you think, what I bought it for, what the rents were, how I doubled the rents. If you want to be able to watch that, then please subscribe. Let's talk about the benefits of house hacking before we talk about how you do it. The obvious one is you won't have a rent or mortgage payment because it'll be covered by somebody else, and in the worst case, you will have reduced the cost by a lot. Benefit number 2 is that you may be able to put down a small down payment. Using an FHA loan, you can put down as little as 3.5%, which is what I did, or you can put down 0% using a VA loan, which is nothing. Benefit number 3 is that you get better financing, which means a lower interest rate and lower monthly payments. Benefit number 4 is that if you do hold on to this property long term, it's going to transition really easily into a rental. Benefit number 5 is that you learn how to invest in real estate. House hacking gives you a hands-on experience on how to manage rehabs, screen tenants, or whatever else pops up. Starting off in real estate, everyone makes mistakes.
I've made a huge mistake.
But it's a lot easier to recover when you're personally involved and on site. Benefit number 6 is more units, the better. This is kind of obvious because with more units, you'll be able to get more rental income. But when I started off, I went from no units to 3 units, with 1 unit being a total problem. Whether there was roof rats, mold, plumbing issues, there was a bunch. But if I only had that property, I would have maybe given up because it was a huge problem. But because I had those other 2 units to compare it to, I knew that this was the outlier. Finally, let's talk how to house hack. Method number 1 is kind of what I've been talking about, which is purchasing a multi-unit home. Properties with 1, 2, 3, or 4 units are all considered a residential. This is the best option if you're trying to grow a real estate portfolio, because you can grow from 0 to 3 units overnight like I did. Method number 2, get a roommate. Method number 2 is to get a roommate, which is kind of an obvious one, but I still wanted to put that in here. You can buy a single family home and rent out one of the rooms or multiple rooms to be able to get some help with reducing the cost of your housing, or to maybe cover all of it. Or various ways to find roommates, whether that's through your friends. You can ask your friends, your family. There's roommate.com. I would stay away from Craigslist. Method number 3 is to use it as an Airbnb. Some cities are starting to crack down on Airbnb, but from my understanding, as long as it's your primary residence, they can't do much. There are 2 ways you can use Airbnb as your primary residence. The first option is, instead of getting a roommate, you can Airbnb out one of your rooms whenever you want the extra cash. When I've traveled, I've stayed in rooms of people that live there full time. They use extra money to offset the cost, and they actually kind of like being able to meet people from around the world. You also get to add in that cleaning fee, which may be nice to be able to have someone clean your house. You could also offer it up on the weekends or when you're out of town, and you could stay at a significant other's, at a family's place. You see the benefits of house hacking and understand just how awesome it is to be able to live for free. So let's talk about how you can get started. Before you go look up properties, you will need to get a pre-approval letter. This is just proof that someone is willing to give you the money to buy that house. Next, you'll need to find an agent, which you probably know somebody.
And this is the great room, although great hardly seems to do a room like this justice. Weird, squiggly painting not included.
I actually love it.
I do too. It's really beautiful.
But if you want someone that has experience with rental properties, a place you can start is looking at biggerpockets.com, which I've actually used them when I was buying a property out of state. The process is really easy, as you can just go into the search feature and type up the area that you're looking in, and you can find the agents there. This is something that I recommend because with small multifamilies, they're just a little bit different. While you're doing this, I hope you're learning a little bit about the rental income in different markets within your city. Now let's dive into the computer and actually look at this process. We're gonna start by going to realtor.com, which is the site that I use the most, but you can use whatever you want. But you'll pull up the web page. We're gonna look at a city that I know nothing about, because maybe you know nothing either, and we can go over what areas to be in and just how to find a property. So we'll type in city. This is a city which a lot of people are trying to get into. So you can come to this filter right here. You can see the area. You can come up to where the proper type is and enter in the multi-family home. From there, let's get rid of anything that is not for sale. So we can try to get into this area, and you can now see the prices. So they go from $200,000 all the way up to $900,000. So let's try to stay within a different area. So this is when we'll pull up another site. From here, we'll go to Trulia. All right, so we're just gonna go up into this area here. We'll pick a house. From here, we can go down to the crime map, and we're just trying to get an area or an idea of the different areas within the city. So it looks like highest areas are gonna be within the downtown area. So you can look at the highways right here. You probably aren't going to want to live within this area. So let's check on the right side. It looks like Michigan Street wasn't too bad. That little pocket right here. So let's check out this area. So maybe again, you don't want to be in this area, but let's just do this for the sake of the experiment here. We now know this area isn't too terrible because it's right here, so not a whole lot going on within this property. Let's see, it says that this is well cared for duplex in the Holy Cross neighborhood. So let's begin to quickly just look at the images and just see how nice it is. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to see just what it would be. So it says right here that each living unit or
that each unit boasts the potential of living space, the sun porch, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths on the 3rd floor, and a 1 bedroom, 1 bath on the main floor. So it looks like you would have the option of getting the 3 bedroom and the 2 baths, or the 1 bedroom and the 1 bath. So let's see just how much this is going to cost you. So we can come down here, look down. If you're putting in 20%, which is $85,000, which I don't have that. So let's just put down the 3.5%. With this property, we can see that it has a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and then also a 1 bedroom and a 1 bath. So let's see just how much you can rent for this. So we will hop over to Zillow right now, the same area that we're in. So that would be right here. Let's transition from the sold to the for rent. It looks like you have things. So this would be the 3 bedroom, 2 bath. This would be a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. This would be a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 4 bedroom, 3.5 baths. So realistically speaking, you may be able to think that with a couple of these examples that you would get anywhere from $1,500 to maybe $1,800 if you were to rent out the larger 3 bedroom, 2 bath part of the duplex. Which means that if you come back over here, you can see that if your monthly mortgage payment was going to be $2,250, you may be able to live with only spending $700. I know that is not living for free, but obviously when you add in more rental units, you get more income, which can offset what you'll be needing to pay, which is where when I had the 4 units, that was a great experience. But with this one, only having 2, you may need to come still out of pocket, but you would be able to live in a 1 bedroom and only pay $700. You then would be getting all of the benefits of actually owning the house, which would be great. This is also just a really quick example. And for me, I like to use realtor.com because of their calculator, Trulia because of their crime map, and with Zillow to see the rental market. You would obviously want to dive in a lot deeper if you were going to be purchasing these homes, but this was a quick overview, be able to prove to you the power of using the house hack. But when it comes to house hacking, you can always find an excuse, like I don't want to live on the same property with other people, I have kids. My spouse would never. Remember, that doesn't have to be a long-term thing. You can do it for 1 year. I did it for 2, but really changed the trajectory of my personal finance situation because I was able to save and to pay off a lot of my student loans, which was a huge help. Things were kind of weird there for 2 years with me living there, but the long-term benefits were great. And I was still able to keep the property when we moved out, which was a huge help. It comes down to how bad you want to change your personal finance situation, because there's a big difference between can't and don't want to. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be doing a whole series on my fourplex, so if you want to be around, then please subscribe to see how much I paid, what it rents for, problems I've had with it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a better idea of how to house hack and live for free. And if you want to be around for when I post my next video, do not forget to subscribe. And if you like the content, then please tap that like button. And if you know anyone that could use this information, then consider sharing this with them. If you guys want to see me travel the world, then check out Jake Miller Does Travel, and I'll see you guys next time. Before you look at properties, you will need to get a pre-approval lender from a lender